Hello and welcome to yet another cast. For you today I have a custom 6v6 played on the Neurox's map generator. This is a 20k base, we are zoomed in a little bit, so I think that's 17.5k. We have team 1 up in the north, team 2 down the south. And let's introduce the players. Let's start with the side island for team 1 on the easternmost position. In orange, going Cypern and opening first land, we have Love Me Summarize. Then let's move southwest to the green player on the beach, or front beach. Going UEF, opening first land, we have Toastiak. Toastiak? Let's go with Toastiak or something like that. Let's just stick with Toasty. Toasty 4K, maybe? I don't know. Anyway, let's move north. Another UEF in blue, opening first land as well. We have BJ. Then to the west of that, in red, going UEF as well. Lots of UEF today. And also opening first land, we have a Chicken Riaba. Then to the northwest of that, in lime green, going Cypern, opening first land, we have Furio. And to the southwest of that, yes, another UEF in dark blue, going first land, we have Legend Lore 2. I will just refer to them as Legend Lore. Now, for Team 2, let's start with the side island again. Going Aeon, opening first land in brown, we have Gamer9 or Gamer9XXX. I will just refer to them as Gamer, I think. Then to the northeast in dark green, going UEF, we have Zoom already moving towards the middle, opening first land. Then to the south of that in piss yellow, going not going Cypern, going Aeon. I supposed to say Cypern for some reason, but no, they are going Aeon, opening first land and second air apparently. We have Babel. Then let's move northeast in regal purple, already moving towards the middle as well. We have Anytime, going Cypern, opening first land. To the southeast of that, yes, that is southeast, in burgundy red, already loading up a transport with engineers, we have Trippy Waz. Going UEF, and I think that was a... they gated in here, so yeah, it was probably first land build. Already second air done. Yeah, that is definitely first land right here. And last but not least, in the yellow player, going UEF as well. Lots of UEF this game. I think I already pointed that out. In yellow we have SPCR moving towards the middle or to the front as well. Also opening first land. Right, that's all the player introductions out of the way. We also already have a transport out for BJ. And that is loaded with engineers moving along the side by the looks of it. Where is that going? Would you look at that? That is dropping engineers right down here in the southeastern corner of the map. Maybe trying to go for some naval shenanigans down there, though that will be a heavy investment. Transport for Furia dropping in the middle, which looks like a plateau, but surprise, it's an inverse plateau. It's actually a drop down. Transport for Chicken Riaba already landed in the area. And we also do have the energies of Babel there. I don't know, the switch on my headphones or mic was just a bit... on my headset was a bit stuck, I guess. I was trying to mute for a cough and my headset did not cooperate. I want to switch there. And T1 Bomber out for BJ, picking up some engineers in the middle, already one down, but now tagged by a bunch of inties. Let's see, will it get another pass? Yes, it will. It gets another engineer, so 2 kills. But now getting shot down by a interceptor of any time. Transport down here does end up landing. Or well, the transport doesn't land, but the engines do. And yes, Snail Factory immediately started for BJ. Already with 2 Thunderheads and a T2 upgrade on that queued up. And though they are currently still on only T1 Eco with no T2 in their main base, so that T2 is very, very ambitious. Because T2 Navy is super expensive. Some light air skirmishing going on in the middle. I do hear some fighting. Ah yes, I think it's between Chicken Rayaba and Babel. But we also do see a lot of stuff already pushing the position of Legend Lore, including the AC of Zoom. None of the ACUs with upgrades, but we do have a run by from Zoom now right here that is moving north. And Legend Lore and Zoom now duking it out between those 2 ACUs. Both without upgrades, both without any supports, so well, nothing to really expect there. There's a single PD turret right here that did kill one of the tanks that was trying to run by. But the option that you have, of course, in that situation is just move past that PD and get into the backline that way. Legend Lore pushing up very aggressively with that commander. And without any support, that seems very dangerous. Let's see, ACU for any time now moves into the area as well. I guess trying to bring in some fire support. A gun upgrade started for Toasty. Already with a shoulder drone finished. Not sure where that one is. At least I think that's the shoulder drone. And using some T1 bombers to harass the spam of SPCR. Moving back to the western side. Big army now pushing Legend Lore, who is already pulling back. And does not have a sizable amount of spam. Currently still using T1 bombers to try and deal with the earlier run by of Zoom. Yeah, there is a air factory and a single factory right there. By the looks of it, they currently have 3 factories. There's about, well, that's a lot more. That should be 8, yep. 10 factories. Holy shit, that's a lot of factories out for Zoom. Legend Lore is going for a gun upgrade, but with the amount of spam currently threatening them, I don't think that is the play. At least not this close to the front. They need to move back further. They of course do have a bit of an eco advantage due to not spending as much on their spam. The disadvantage in that moment, however, is that they don't have spam. And general rule of thumb in subcom, more shit counters less shit. Exception is when it's T1 shit against a single Monkey Lord or something like that. Then the Monkey Lord wins, but overall more units tend to counter less units. And that at least applies on same tier. But Legend Lore taking a shit ton of damage. Zoom pumping in additional damage with that ACU. Gun upgrade. 7 seconds to finishing, so it would be very unfortunate to stop this now at 95%, but the ACU is into the red below 2k HP. Does finish gun, but below 1k, and there it goes, right after finishing the gun upgrade. Legend Lore getting a bit too greedy, and being the first player out at 9 minutes. This game is played, however, on full shares, so the base does get gifted over to the highest rated player, which is Furia. Also the highest rated player in the game at 2k rating. And maybe they will be able to stabilize that position. The middle area seems to have been secured by the northern team now. And BJ now moving some stuff up to the front. T2 has finished down in the south. There are now cruisers, I think, building. Yep, that does look like a cruiser with that big area on the back. And the lack of cannons in the front and stuff. Does look like the cruiser hull. A few more gun upgrades going out, including Love Me Some Rice. T2 going out for Anytime. Those in much safer positions. Big push by the looks of it, going out against SPCR out from Toasty, who pushed up very aggressively with that commander. And completely outspammed by the looks of it SPCR, threatening this entire position. So we might see SPCR going down very soon as well. Bunch of T1 bombers also in the area, just causing harassing damage. Putting fire onto the factories, which, due to the way that factory building works in Subcom, means that the units can't build since even a non-finished unit has an HP pool, and if that gets killed, it just, well, does not continue building. Thus meaning that those bombs deny any kind of building possibility in those factories. But yes, SPCR is down into the yellow. However, the spam for Toasty is not continuing to push up. And I was about to say I can see why that the difference is there, but no, both ACUs do have gun. And the Shoulder does not improve the HP pool. So I guess it was just a difference due to spam. SPCR now dropping down into the red, below 3k HP and below 2.5 and below 2k. I think we might see the second ejection right here with SPCR going down. And now below 1k HP, we do have some hoplites reaching the front for Anytime, and apparently Zoom just went down to Furia. But never mind, SPCR does make it back with now 2k HP to spare, and that looks like someone pushed very, very aggressively, so I understand why Zoom died there. Sorry for missing that, I was too focused on SPCR going almost bowing out. Almost being the operative term here. The sneaky Navy play has finished its cruiser and is now firing. And let's see, it has actually gotten one kill, one max right here. I think that might even have been a yeah, that was a T2 max, I'm pretty sure, at 300 mass left. And might get another one. Yeah, more missiles already in the air. There are no gunships being built by tree peelers to deal with that. Cruisers, of course, have amazing anti-aircraft firepower. And there goes the second max. That gunship does move in, but the anti-aircraft missiles of the cruiser do start firing down and pour their damage into the broadsword. And by looks of it, the anti-aircraft missiles, or the anti-air missiles, do have higher DPS than the broadsword, which technically does have more HP than the cruiser, but still lost that engage. Or maybe it's just the difference in range, I don't know. But those broadswords not too successful in their endeavors. Now with naval build-up starting for troop reverse as well. In the meantime, SPCR has regened a bit. Back up to the front, Corsairs now in the air for Furious, so they need to be a lot more careful here. Those currently used as fighters, though they aren't really amazing in that role. But they could probably take out the AC of SPCR if they aren't careful. Especially since I don't see any flag in the area. Never mind, there are bangers right here. But there comes the snipe. And SPCR down to below 1k HP again. Another Corsair passes. Okay, it does not get the kill. But those are definitely gonna get another pass. And it's down to below 100 HP, and there it goes. Boom to a Corsair snipe by Furior. Though that one was very close due to the flag almost shooting down all the Corsairs. Now the other flank does seem to have stabilized a bit, though Gamer currently now in control of the forces originally controlled by Zoom. Seems to have been forced back quite a bit. Not forced back quite a bit, has actually gained quite a bit of ground compared to Zoom, and taking away a bunch of ground from what was formerly Legend Lores. Most notably this base. But currently forced back by a counter-offensive out from Chickenrye Airborne. Cruisers continue to be utilized down here in the southern area, but a large number of top bombers now used to try and take that stuff out. And as the last cruiser has already gone down, I am pretty sure that that will succeed. I think the play here would have been to keep the bulwark over the area to protect the nail factory. But it is a little too late now. ASF do come in for a Love Me Samurais to try and deal with that, but a bunch of the top bombers do just off-map due to the overall position. As this is very close to map, they will just off-map on their pass. It is just what happens, it is very unfortunate, but very hard to avoid here. And since it's not intentional, there is nothing really wrong with that. Like, I mean, yes, it is very annoying, but it is just the way the game works. Tactical missile going out for Toasty. Currently hiding in that pond. And since they do have T2, they might be able to get some sneaky missile hits with that. And let's see, game is slowing down a bit. We do have a small air engage right here between the Air Force of Love Me Samurais and Babel. And looks like Love Me Samurais is probably going to win this air engage. Currently having the superior ASF numbers. And yes, they do win that by looks fit. But the top bombers did successfully take out all of the nail production that did belong to BJ. With the support of one of those broadswords. So that naval investment has been completely shut down now. They do have T2 air now, never mind, they do have T3 air now. So I guess that's where their investment went after that. And they tried something similar right here in the western pond now, building up a naval factory. Currently only building some frigates. But there are already gunships in the area, and let's see, are those... Those do look like they are moving out onto that, so... That nail factory also not long for this world. Now being taken out by a bunch of Restorer gunships. Well, the frigate being taken out first, since that can fire back. Even if it can't fire back much, but even a slight ability to fire back is already annoying enough. And there goes that naval factory. Big presence of Wagner's, interestingly enough, for any time now, denying the attempted naval build-up from Toasty, who is forced out of the water by the use of torp bombers as well. So moves back onto land. Now those Wagners could cause some serious damage there as well. But they don't seem to be going after that. However, we do have a bunch of broadsides moving in onto that ACU, so Toasty, already noticing that, moves right back into the water to get safe from the gunships, as those will tear apart that ACU health pool extremely fast. And immediately they start building some air cleaner flak, but there is a frigate right here, and of course gunships, torp bombers, stuff like that. The flak does actually finish, gets some shots down, but immediately gets taken out from the air due to some insane numbers of gunships. A single max right here goes down as well. Not too great. More maxes, so overall currently pushback out from any time. Forcing Toasty back quite a bit. Love Me Some Rest still on the front with the ACU with gun and nano. Having that very, very ludicrous HP regen on the Cypern ACU. With a still sizable HP pool. But overall, this force definitely not to be underestimated. And continuing on over here, since those are Wagners, they could possibly even threaten the main base of Love Me Some Rice. Which would be very unfortunate for them, since they have actually set up full T3 maxes in their main base now. Very nice to see. And no, they do seem to be moving along the shoreline. Love Me Some Rice is moving towards the water. We do have a bunch of restorers moving in, as well as that army. And enemy air presence, basically denying any kind of airplay to shut these restorers down. ACU takes a lot of fire from Wagners and air, and there it goes. Love Me Some Rice bowing out at the 20-minute mark, apparently going down to a Control K in the end. Little toxic play doesn't really impact the game too much, only impacts the scores at the end of the game. To just not give the kill, or the credit to the kill by going for the Control K in the last second. But whatever. Doesn't impact the way the game ends, or actually doesn't impact the way the game goes on anyway, since that AC would have died one game tick later basically, so whatever. Land factory in the middle now for Furior under threat from a bunch of Vipers. One of these actually with over 1,000 mass killed. And thus 5 ranks of veterancy. 1,000 mass isn't that much, but compared to the cost of a Viper, that is still a ludicrous amount. As Vipers, like most spammable land units, are very, very cheap. Spectre's building up for Babel, maybe we will see another sniper attempt with that. And the Western Front, well, nothing new on the Western Front. Or, well, I think the English name would be All Quiet on the Western Front. Well, not all quiet, there's a single offensive of a few Titans going on, as Tier 3 has been achieved. There are a few gunships, of course, the Restorers, going after those, basically denying that push. Some flag in there to support that would be nice, as that does both give an advantage during airfights over some friendly flag, and also give you some ability to respond to enemy air without having your own air. But there are no Cougars coming up. It's not quite flag, but it will do the trick, especially against Tier 3 stuff. A few more Titans. There are no PD emplacements being built up by Gamer to hold the front, to hold the line. and those will force the current forces of Furio back for the time being, I think. Well, there are also a bunch of Mongoose, but the engineers going down to the Titans still. I guess the Titans just not carrying enough to actually get intimidated by those Triads. And thus they do continue their push, taking out a bunch of stuff. Until all of them do go down. And Vipers continue harassing the middle. We do now have some Zappers in the area, shooting down the Viper missiles, or at least trying to. Generally, Cyber and tactical missiles probably the most annoying to shoot down because of all missiles in the game they take the most shots. The UAF missiles take 2 shots, or in case of the Villeneuve 3 to be shot down. And the Viper, however, technically takes 4 to be completely denied, since the Cyber missiles in general split into 3 missiles after taking damage. So they technically need 4 hits from a TMD to completely negate all damage, making them super annoying to deal with and super hard to counter. Some pricks now on the field for any time, and those are a lot harder to defend against since they do have some decent range and now can just take out those factories. There goes that T2 Cyber HQ. Chicken Rayaba asking for a T3 NG for Chicken. Very interesting to ask for that, since there are no Seraphims at all, I think, in this game. So building a Chicken would be a very, very impressive feat. As, yeah, no, on the southern team no one had Seraphim tech. And on northern team no one has Seraphim tech either. So, interesting request. I mean, maybe someone can just materialize one out of thin air, just magically make the Seraphim appear, but I doubt it. On the west, in the meantime, we do have a bunch of spearheads now firing down into the position of Gamer to break the firebase that has been developed. Spearheads also annoying to deal with, though for different reasons than the Cyber missiles, as the spear just fires a volley of 3 missiles that gets annoying to shoot down because just the sheer mass of missiles. Just the sheer volume of fire makes them annoying to deal with. And thus, few missiles do land, especially with the increasing number of spearheads. And a bunch of BD does go down with that. Big push around the middle now, out from Anytime. Utilizing those pricks, pushing against Percivals out from Chicken Rayaba. Now, a direct engagement between Bricks and Percivals is actually won by the Percival. At least the last time I've seen any kind of statistics on that. Since although the Percival does have more DPS, does have less HP technically and lower rate of fire, but overall DPS is higher. And the high alpha strike on the Percival doesn't really affect that too much. The other thing is that also the fact that it is high alpha means that you need less volleys in general, so less reloads. Which overall against high damage targets or against stuff that you can one-hit might mean that you actually kill it as a single target faster than a brick would, since the brick relies on a high rate of fire weapon. And we do have a bunch of Titans now that actually did make it into the back line of Toasty. Currently wreaking havoc right here. It looks like there were mass fabs right here. Using those is definitely very painful. Bunch of PD being built up. And T1 bombers being utilized to take those out as well. But they will have been a massive nuisance, and looking at some of these, yeah, they have caused massive damage. Cherry Previous has finished their experimental. And it is a Novax, going for a maximum cancel today, I see. Also under stealth fields, so it's probably not scouted by Northern Team. Nope, they have no clue that there is anything there. I mean, looking in general, scouting of the Northern Team is atrocious, as all of this hasn't been scouted either. And yeah, there's also no current information on this base overall. Who am I currently looking at? I'm looking at Furrier, who in addition to all of that is also power stalling really badly. And Airfight, almost missed that. Well, technically I did miss it. Furrier does pull back. And that does mean air win for the Southern team now, right there. The Furrier still pushing on with those Titans. Killing off some more Maxes. The run by from Anytime has gone down. And there is now a small army of Percivals also massing for checking Rayaba on the eastern side of the, well, lower area of the valley, I think you could call it, right here in the middle. Not on the eastern, on the western side. East-west, I do tend to confuse those. I mean, if you really think about it, if you just go far enough east, you do eventually just end up west, so... I guess you could just say very far eastern force of Percivals. But they do kill a few units trying to push in, having a small impact. However, we do have a force of Titans for Gamer now pushing in against Furrier, who currently does not have any force to respond to that. They do have a few Triads, but those won't be too effective in dealing with those Titans, as we saw earlier with Gamer building up that firebase against Furrier's push. And yeah, that side area is basically lost now. Laughing Samurai is calling this game lost now. And let's see. Oh, right. The Novax did actually kill the Aircraft 42k, as they did not remember to build shielding over that. So that is highly unfortunate. Did the other players remember to build any kind of shielding? Does not look like it. Not at all. Not at all. Well, there's a single... well, no, there are a few shields actually in the base for checking Rayaba, but yeah. Most players forgot to actually go for shielding. Of course, power stalling for Furrier also makes shielding very hard. We saw that earlier, they are currently still desperately trying to build up another P-Gen to, I guess, re-stabilize their power, now especially after they lost the air grid, which tends to provide large amounts of power. And a small push started from Chicken Rayaba, this time actually on the eastern side of the valley area in the middle. Slowly pushing forward. Also nice reclaim field right here. Already engineers in the area to collect that for Chicken Rayaba. And that is actually a trebuchet in there for any time, so if that gets to stand still, that will basically just pound any kind of firebase build up. If it at least gets defended enough to properly utilize those capabilities. while the forces of any time do pull back, there is also a push coming out from Toasty, and is now being threatened by the retreating pricks, as those pricks are retreating right into that push, as well as a few pursuits for tree peelers that are causing a bit of a, well, that are a bit threatening there as well. We do see some spearheads in the mix for Toasty now as well. Also a very big nuisance to the fire bases. Though that firebase does have a volcano, the Aeon TMD, which is pretty good at dealing with large numbers of missiles due to the way that it stays in the air for a while and just, instead of shooting down the missile the traditional way, it reflects the missile, doing some damage in the meantime. But, well, I was about to say, stuff going back to stagnant. We do see another push right here, not sure how far that will go. Not much there to counter it on the western side. But we do now also see another counter push out from the southern team in the east. So overall, currently, it looks like the southern team has taken initiative and is basically dictating the way this game is going by just constantly pushing, as that is one way to just force a outcome, just forcing your opponent to always react, to always be the proactive one. And it seems to work out quite well, even though technically Southern Team is down on map control. Let's take a short look at economy. Yes, they're also slightly down on economy by around 100 mass. There is now a second Novax threatening the base of Furior. And a third one almost finished up here for Tree Peelers. So that's not going too great, and there goes the third Novax. There is now also a Fat Boy on the field for Gamer. That is going to make it a lot harder for Furior to hold on to their position, at least as long as they don't have any kind of T2RT to fire onto the Fat Boy as a defense. And T2RT, of course, very, very costly to build. And the Fat Boy, as long as there is no T2RT in play, a very, very amazing unit to both defend and push, as the ludicrous range allows you to just, well, it forces your opponent to make a move, either pull back to get out of range, which allows your opponent to, or which allows the person using the Fat Boy to just continue pushing forward, or it forces a push which might be, well, it might not be a good call for the person that is on the receiving end. Broadswords building up for BJ now, moving towards the front. I guess preparing for a small air, for a small bit of air support there. A small airfight did ensue, but that was won by BJ. And some Titans skirmishing, nothing too major there. No real commitments made, and BJ finishes an experimental. It is a Monkey Lord that was constructed in the water. Also, if you haven't seen that already on video length, this will be a bit of a longer one. Bit over 1 hour game time. So with my usual outro shenanigans, stuff like that, it will probably take a bit longer. The overall video, I of course don't know how long it will be since I'm currently still recording it, but yeah. The Titans and Fat Boy for Gamer do continue to push on, slowly gaining ground, taking out the space once again, which has to half finished, wait no, not even more than half finished. This one actually on almost 80% finished T3 maxes. This one on 67, so yes, those maxes actually very far on their upgrade process. So you really don't want to lose them. But lose them is exactly what will happen right here to Furio, as they cannot hold on to those. Two Magleves in the meantime, duking it out to the east between Anytime and Chicken Rayaba. However, Anytime also with a sizable brick force to back that up, so that Maglev for Chicken Rayaba under major threat, as it is taking fire from the bricks as well, and thus losing HP on a much higher rate than the purple Maglev pushing it. Now, I mean, the Maglev could technically also build its own bricks. You don't see that feature being utilized too often, but, well, there goes the Maglev for Chicken Rayaba. Already down. Push right here on the west continues. Broadswords do now move in for BJ. And Furio moves in a bunch of Corsairs to take out the Fat Boy. That one goes down very fast. But here comes the air response out from Tripivas. And they immediately wipe out all of the gunships. Before even the possibility of a reaction out from BJ is possible, and BJ trying to pull back but can't get away. Air engage does happen, and it is very obvious that Tripivas has the superior ASF numbers, and even over the flayers with over those flyer Sams with the some really nice tones there as well. They completely wiped the air off BJ. So let's take an ASF count. We are looking at around 230 ASF, some Wasps, some Coronas for Tripivas. Currently against Furia, as they are the only one on the northern team that still has a sizable ASF force, with a force of roughly 100 ASF. Not looking too great, and they are still power stalling. Well, not sure if it's still, but maybe it's also just, again, they are building a Scathus and they have a full mass bar, or well, not quite full, but very filled mass bar, so not too surprising, as that does take a lot of power to build in that case. And that will probably stabilize once they do spend their mass. But for the time being, that is not a great situation to be in. The push of Mass Titans does continue for Gamer, and it is about to take out the base that once belonged to Legend Lore a long time ago. Legends told of a player called Legend Lore that used to house in this area. I mean, I'm sorry, I think my puns might have been better at some point in time. Maybe it's also just that wrong nostalgia. But believe me, they won't get any better. Now there are a few pussies for Chicken Rayaba pushing in, trying to help defend. But significant damage done into that base. With T3 maxes going down, a lot of stuff here. However, this still does leave an enormous reclaim field that might allow to retake the area. BJ moved the Minecloud over on this flank, the one that I think was originally built in the pond right here, where the second one is now under construction. And, well, that might actually get somewhere, as that looks like it's supposed to push on that side. In the meantime, almost missed it. The Maglev for Anytime that we saw earlier continues to push, now with major personal support out from Tripivas as well. Another air engage up here over the pond as well, which again is a air wipe in favor of the southern team. The Novax is now retargeting onto the air grid that is currently being held by BJ. that originally belonged to Love Me Sunrise. Wiping that, taking out a bunch of maxes. And the push currently taking out the base of Tolstyak, or Tolsty, who is still upgrading Tactical Nuke, while they currently still have the eco to afford that. It remains to be seen for how long that will still be the case, considering that enormous push. There are gunships in the area that are, well, landing, so they can't actually be utilized. Never mind, stuff moves in close enough that the gunships do lift back off the ground to start firing. But with the enormous ASF force for 3 Pivas in the area, those gunships will get wiped rapidly. And there they go. Not even the mighty broadsword can stand against firepower of this magnitude. The Maglev does continue on, now taking out core infrastructure of in the base of Tolsty. That going down very, very quickly into the immense firepower that the Maglev brings to bear. Maglev, on that note, also very good at taking out point defense, which is currently being built up to try and defend, as the Maglev is the second highest range direct fire experimental. Well, you could argue highest range. Depends whether or not you see the guns on the Fat Boy as direct fire or not. I would argue that that they may be considered direct fire even if they get the indirect fire range circle, because they are still firing on a relatively low arc, and while they aren't the fastest projectiles, they are still faster than most of the indirect fire artillery projectiles. So, and I think on the base game, which, well, this isn't the base game, this is FAT, but I think on the base game the Fat Boy also only gets one range ring, which is just one red one for the big guns. So I think my argument for those to be direct fire is valid. But yes, Maglev second only to the Fat Boy when it comes to range. And of course the highest HP experimental in the game. And also the highest HP unit in the game, or at least in the base game. We do have a Zoripper now also up for any time, supporting the push upwards. With the air control, that is definitely a decent play. And that did get gifted over to the air player, Pivas, who does probably have a better time macroing that, as that way they can coordinate it better with their ASF force. And the push up here does continue. Toasty has basically lost their entire base. There are, however, now 2 Fat Boys in the area for Chicken Ryaba. Don't think I point those out, I only looked at those to point out that for my rant about the Fat Boy being a direct fire unit. And I will die on that hill. And yeah, no, they did actually have 2 of those Fat Boys. However, those do end up, at least one goes down to the Zoripper. And the Novax is up there also basically causing heavy damage to that. Mass SAM batteries and a small ASF response seem to be, yep, they do end up taking out the Zoripper before it can cause any more harm. Though it definitely has already caused quite a bit. And the Maglev still alive with over 100,000 mass killed. Highly effective combat unit right there. 125 regen, 165,000 maximum HP. With that, if it gets back to maximum HP, the Maglev can actually tank 2 nukes. Yes, indeed. 2 normal nukes in the inner ranged ring. The Maglev is a bit insane. And it is now threatening the main base of BJ, who, well, they are in the water, so they are safe from the direct fire, though Technically not safe from the Maglev, as the Maglev has some amazing torpedoes. Another airwipe happened here. Cruisers now in the water for Furia to cause some naval bombardment on this overall area. And how's the Scathers going? The Scathers did actually finish. And where is it firing? Well, there are apparently also 2 Norvaxes out for checking Rayabas, so definitely not on top of spotting my my send-off tag today. And that stuff landing and causing some damage to the shielded base of Pivas. Currently only minor damage due to the shields still holding, but a bunch of the shields are collapsing. One of the Novax already went down. And another volley incoming, another volley just fired. I really like the fact that the fire rate on these large maps for the Scathers is just enough that you always have one volley in the air. It does look very nice, very satisfying on the map. But lots of shielding now, trying to hold on. Lots of build power assisting the shields. Shield assistance a very, very powerful thing. Also very mass intensive. Not power intensive as you might suspect to repair the shields, no. The way shield assistance works is that you basically rebuild the shield at the mass and energy cost and build rate to with a bunch of engineers to refill the shield ball, which is very powerful, but as already pointed out, very expensive. Bunch of shields do end up collapsing, meaning that the Scathers can now cause heavy damage, as the Scathers, compared to the other game enders, comparatively easy to defend against, with layered shields and a lot of shield assistance. However, the big problem is that once your shields do collapse, which, especially with multiple Novaxes, multiple Scathay or any kind of supporting arty on there as well, might happen, a Scathers will just take out your entire base. The Scathers is super good at taking out undefended bases, and I miss a top bomber snipe on the ACU of Toasty. Well, as harsh as it might sound, not too big of an impact right there, as Toasty was already out of the game after losing their base to that massive, massive push. That Maglev still going now, retreating. I think that is probably a mistake. That Maglev will never make it back. So I think it would be better off just standing its ground, continuing to fire down into the base, since the Maglev cannot fire backwards. So either you do the special micro trickery with the Maglev to move to walk it backwards, so it's still facing towards the stuff that it's running away from. Or if you know that you can't actually pull it out there and that it will still be in reclaim range of your opponent when it dies, just don't pull it back. Just let it cause maximum damage. Maybe even push it in further to cause some damage with the Death Nuke. And 1 second, I do have a bot in chat that I will just block. I was not aware that my links were apparently no longer blocked on Twitch. Yeah, sorry about that. If anyone saw that on the recording, do not open that link. It is most likely just some sort of scam link. Do not buy viewers or any shit like that. That's, well, it's very, very sketchy. In addition to the moral question of that, yeah, it's also just super sketchy. The Novaxes and Scathers now actually breaking through the base of True Pivas and taking out the Novaxes. There are now actually 3. Never mind, that's a fat boy. There are still only 2 Novaxes, with the third one currently underway for Chicken Ray up. And the last Novax out for True Pivas, about to go down. There it goes. And with that, well, there is one piece of center of tech still left. It is a disruptor out from any time, firing into the base of Furia, I suspect, against that Scathus. A second Scathus now started. Now there is a very big push of Percival's coming out from Gamer, and not Percival's, of Titans, and also a sizable push, also mostly Titans, out from Tree Pivas, moving in on the current base of Furia. I think, well, okay, they do have 2 Megaliths, of course a bunch of Percivals. They might be able to hold on to that. Currently a bit on the fence about the play of the second Scathus. I think just making sure that they can hold on to what they currently have, including that one Scathus might be better, especially with a push this threatening, but well, Megaliths are pushing in, there's sizable spams, so I think they might be able to hold that. What looks a lot more dangerous is this right here. A bunch of Percivals moving through the water. I suspect to make landfall right here next to Scathai. Push in and take those two out, causing maximum damage and devastation right there. Some fighter bombers now also utilized by Furia to help defend that. They do seem to like their Corsairs. And with that push did not actually go too far. There is still a GC at full health. Never mind, there are 2 GCs at full health in the mix, or in the area. One for Babel, one for Pyrrhus. Don't think I mentioned Babel too much in the later stages of this game, as they didn't have massive game impact for this later stage, I feel like. What are they up to? Well, just air grid. To be fair, they do have some air. Yeah, they did go more into some eco-heavy air builds, stuff like that. Never mind, that air is paused. Not sure what they are currently up to, but I'm sure that they are doing something sneaky. Apparently a Tempest. And Navy up here in the northern pond, so there is their valiant play. Tempest here looks a bit questionable since there's nothing really for that to, you know, shoot at, but whatever. It might provide short bombardment. Yeah, that Scathus already with over 300k muscles, so one of the rare cases where Scathus actually did pay off. Which is unusual, especially considering the dire situation during which it was constructed. A situation that, if you watch any of my other casts, you would be aware I strongly advise against building standoff tech in. Because, well, usually while you are losing ground, that economy is better put into stuff to hold ground. Namely, direct fire units. Or, you know, normal experimentals. A Novax has been built up by Gamer now, moving in, trying to harass some stuff of Furia. And there are of course those possibles. Furia now with the ASU building up some Scuttle T1 torpedo launchers. We're trying to get something to do with that. And utilizing mass torpedo bombers to help out there as well. Scathus did take out the shielding around the artillery, and the artillery did die as well. There is a Maver under construction for Gamer now, going for their own T4RT, their own game ender, as well as a defense satellite. Now, any other standoff? There is a Duke about to finish for Pivas. Right here on the beach. Another Duke currently under construction in their main base. So some stuff to retalk on to. Now, it looks like those possibles actually taken care of quite well. Furrier actually has gone for a tele-snipe upgrade section on the ASU, I guess in case of emergency. The laser very, very effective at dealing with those possibles. Just completely annihilating those, and now also having moved some possibles into the general area to help defend as well. But with Novax overhead, immediately moving back into the water to get safe, and starting some reclaim duties. Looks like that attempted Percy play did not work out. However, there is a GC in the water that might be more effective and more damaging. And a significant naval fight does continue up here in the northern pond, now with some harms built up by BJ to defend. Harms highly annoying to deal with. Though we do have the Aeon engineers, which are hover and thus can just move over the harm and reclaim it. Which is exactly the thing that's happening right now, right here. That's the one special power of the Aeon engineers, and well, also Seraphim engineers to the same extent. They are hovers, so completely unaffected by any kind of torpedo defense, including the harm, which is usually super annoying to deal with due to being submerged. So, yeah. There are, however, a few frigates now dealing with those engineers. But will those be enough to take out the engineers before they take out the harm? No. They will not. The Maglev now also moving to the shore to support the defensive line. Another main assault on the front line, massing right here with a bunch of Titans, a few Loyalists, and a GC. And the GC right here in the water, getting mass top bombed, standing still in the water, big mistake right there, not getting any continued move orders onto the land to continue damaging. So it just stands still in the water and dies right there, only leaving these possibles right here that are already taking massive amounts of damage. The second scathe, so is that coming along around halfway done? Yep, around 60%. The base of Babel, well, the aircraft of Babel almost completely annihilated. And that Maber now halfway done. Some more sheeting there would, however, be nice considering the amount of artillery fire there. Which brings me to check scouting. Nope. No scouting. They have no clue that there is a Maver under construction. I'm pretty sure they don't even know that there are dukes on the map right now. Even though they have already started firing for a while. Yeah, there are actually two dukes now. Well, looks like they know of one of them. Yep. The second one's still completely unknown. But at least maybe one of the dukes might go down to the Scathless fire. So I guess the game just turning a bit more static into some long-range fire. We do have a bunch of DMLs installed at the front, well, not really the front, but close to the front for anytime trying to take out some integral infrastructure for Chicken Rayaba. Again, Cyber missiles annoying to take out due to them just splitting after taking damage. But yeah, that raw amount of tactical missile launchers also just basically allowing for continuous firing of the missiles. The airbase up here basically doomed. Now taking artillery fire. Of course the destroyers in the area. Also providing shore bombardment. Not looking too great. There are a few gunfires on the shore, but well, they won't do too well since they are too close to shoreline and thus can just be destroyed by the Exodus. And also it's Cyber Artillery, so it's highly inaccurate. Because, well, that's just how Cyber Artillery works. The second Scath is almost finished. That will be very, very hard to deal with. That Duke now, well, okay, one of the shields is at maximum HP due to very, very heavy shield assistance. A second Duke is already being reclaimed, I guess due to the expectation to not keep that. Second Duke up here, however, did finish, so technically a third Duke, I guess. So currently 3 artillery pieces firing up onto the northern team, with a Maver about to finish as well. Well. Scathers currently still on the way to finishing at 90%. Artillery, pretty sure, still taking a bunch of fire. Yep, there is next volley of Scathers fire coming in. And with a look at that, the sneaky player that is Tripivas already building Neo Novaxes after the last ones were lost. And Scathers only 500 more HP to go. And it's about to finish. Yeah, 95%. Some ASU died down here, not too sure what that was all about. Let's see, no reclaim. Furrier somehow killed anytime, I don't know how. Maybe it was some kind of splash damage, maybe it was a top snap I completely missed. Or maybe it was a tele-snap. Might have been, not too sure. By looks of it, Scathis sheet over the second Scathis did collapse for a short moment. But did end up going down, it is still continuing. The progress bar is now highly inaccurate because the HP pool, because that's based on the HP pool, while the progress bar below that is the actual progress of building. Second Scathis finishes. And right, I think there was a second ACU that tried to tele in here for a tele snipe, but PD just took that out before it could cause major damage. Well, I don't think I know that because I noticed during originally checking the replay. I just, well, was paying attention to other stuff for the cast, so that's a thing. And Atlantis in the water now for BJ. Up here, and a Tempest under construction for Babel. Now the Atlantis taking a lot of damage from the Exodus, as Exodus is very good at dealing with any kind of submarine, including the experimental submarine. But this is actually a 2v3 now. Artillery has retargeted onto the position of the Maver. The shielding, a lot of shielding around there now. Bunch of that has already collapsed, more shielding going up. And a few very, very brave jesters have moved into the mix to try and help out. Not too sure how effective those will be. Well, I am actually sure how effective those will be. Just the fact that that those will be plinky damage on the shields will mean that there won't be any natural shield regeneration, since all shields in Supreme Commander have a cooldown between taking damage and starting to regenerate. Meaning that the moment after a shield takes damage, it will have to wait a few moments before it starts to regen. Which is also the reason that fire bases can be cracked by continuous fire, even if the technical DPS is below the shield regen, as the shield just doesn't get time to regenerate. Also another reason why shield assistance is this important, because while shield is assisted, or shield assistance will instantly regenerate the HP pool on the shield, ignoring that delay. But combined Scathus and Nomax Fire do end up breaking through, causing some damage to the Maver, and taking out most shields. So there's basically no way for them to now hold onto this. With the increase of firepower into the area. Also, I suspect Gamer is heavily stalling mass right now. Never mind. Guess they just don't have enough build power on those shields to properly assist them. And, well, last shield about to go down. There are the shells impacting, there goes the shield, there go the shield generators, and there goes the Maver. Taking out that piece of standoff technology of the southern team. There are currently still 3 Dukes with another one under construction right here on the side. Gamer just deciding that, yeah, they have probably lost this one, goes for the Control K. They did still have the Nomaxes, but I guess the shielding over the Scathe just made it impossible to utilize that. There is now also just massive counter push mounting right here on the eastern side with 3 Fat Boys and an enormous army of supporting Percivals. And a slightly smaller counter push of a bunch of Percivals with 2 Megaliths on the west. Both not great, well, not great to look at when there is no real answer to that. The new RT, or the, well, secondary RT has been spotted, and no, never mind, it hasn't. It is just a RT installation right down here. Completely unshielded. With now Novax moving overhead to deal with that. New artillery gun did finish right here, but I doubt that that will be able to break through, and never mind. The shields around one of the Scathe did actually completely collapse. However, there are now some dragonflies just hovering overhead, being a nuisance and all, just pumping, just soaking up the occasional artillery hit. Which means that the dragonfly will immediately go down, but better the dragonfly going down than the Scathus. And there goes the Control K. And with that, I hope you enjoyed this cast. This was streamed live on Twitch, as was probably obvious with me dealing with the small bot in chat earlier. I hope you did enjoy. If you did, maybe leave a like, or don't, I can't force you. And if you want to be notified when more casts like these do eventually come out, which they most certainly will, you can always subscribe. And yes, with that, I hope you enjoyed. I'm gonna be back with a future cast, probably next Wednesday. And till then, bye! 1 second, let me press my button combination without tapping out because full screen. Yes, bye! If I could actually hit the button correctly. God damn me! Bye!